For 7.6, we are going to look at the surface area, and the only shape that we need to practice is the sphere. So the surface area is the outside of a 3D shape. So if we had like a prism, like a box, it would be like wrapping paper on a box. How much wrapping paper would we need to cover it? Or with the sphere, if it were like a soccer ball, how much material is covering the soccer ball or the basketball? And our formula here is SA stands for surface area, 4 times pi, which again we're going to use 3.14. It's not equal, it's about equal to, because we round, 3.14 for pi, times our radius squared. Okay, so let's start in with number 1. Start with our formula. Surface area equals 4 pi r squared. Take the, always going to be 4. Pi is about 3.14 times the radius. It gives us radius here is 6, so 6 squared. And then we really just have to plug all of this into the calculator. You can plug it in one thing at a time, or you can plug it all in together. I'm just going to go ahead and plug it all in together, but I'm going to start with the squared just so I don't mess that up. So 6 squared, again, that means 6 times 6, so that's going to give us a 36. And then I'm going to take the 36. I can make a note so I don't forget that. 36. Now I'm just going to multiply straight across. 4 times 3.14 times that 36 that we found. And I get 452.16. And it doesn't give us units again, it just says 6. We don't know if it's feet, inches, meters, whatever. So we'll just say units. And surface area, it's a form of area, so it's going to be squared, or to the second power. Same thing for number 2. Surface area equals 4 times pi times r squared. So 4 is always 4. Pi, we're going to use 3.14. And this radius, it says, is 5. So times 5 squared. Again, I'm going to go ahead and do that 5 squared first. And 5 squared means 5 times 5. So that's 25. And I'm just going to multiply all straight across. 4 times 3.14 times the 25 that we found is 314. And again, it's just going to be units, so we don't know what it is. Units to the second. Okay, and then we're going to do something a little bit different for number 3, just so we can see a different type of directions we might see. You might see directions that say leave in terms of pi. Leave answer in terms of pi, or something along those lines. So we're just going to use this as an example of what that means to leave an answer in terms of pi. So we're still going to have our surface area. It's the same thing, 4 times pi times radius squared. But when I plug these in, I'm going to leave 4 as 4, but instead of taking in pi and putting in 3.14, I'm going to leave pi as pi. And then the radius of this one, it says, is 7, so that's 7 squared. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that 7 squared. So I'm going to leave 4, I'm going to leave pi, 7 squared, that means 7 times 7, and that is 49. And then I'm going to multiply these numbers together, so 4 times the 49, I'm not going to do anything with the pi. 4 times the 49 is 196, and then I'm just going to leave that pi. So I did the same thing that we did in numbers 1 and 2, except I did not multiply by 3.14. I just left pi as pi instead. So that's what it means when it says leave your answer in terms of pi. It just means leave pi as pi instead of using 3.14. And then number 4, we'll just go back to solving like normal. Only a number 4, it tells us that this all the way across is 18, but we only need the radius, not the diameter. So if the diameter all the way across is 18, then halfway across is going to be half of that, or 9. So we just need to use 9 for our radius. So surface area equals 4 pi r squared. 4 times, we'll go ahead and plug in the 3.14 this time again. And the radius we found was 9, because we didn't want the 18. That was all the way. That was the diameter. We just want halfway across. That's what the radius is. So 9 squared. Then I'm going to go ahead and do that 9 squared first, just so I get that out of the way. That's going to be 81. Remember, that means 9 times 9. Then I'm just going to multiply. So 4 times 3.14 times that 81 that we found. 1,017.36. And this one does give us units. It says inches, so it's going to be inches squared. So just remember a couple things with the surface area of a sphere is that if it gives us a diameter, like a number 4, make sure you're just finding the radius halfway across. And now we've gone over what it means to leave in terms of pi. So just read the directions and what is it asking for.